Hello, I'm Tony Nichols and I'm the Federal Programs Director at Nicholas County Schools. And we'd like to thank SCTV and Chantel for broadcasting several of our video lessons for our students. We're hoping to reach out to students who might have issues with internet. And the upcoming sessions you're going to see are all about writing, handwriting, and also some creative writing. But I wanted to share with you some things about writing that might help you when you're working with your child at home. First of all, just like reading, we should do writing every day. Some type of writing every day. We also need to know that writing is very connected to reading. There's an old saying that if you can write it, then you can read it. When you're working with your child, you want to make sure that you teach them the proper pencil grip, and you want to support them, and you want to monitor them so that they're using an appropriate grip. Number 4 is very important. When students are learning to write their letters, they need to learn how to write the letter in steps, and they need to repeat those steps the same way every time they write the letter. Sometimes students have difficulty remembering where to start the letter or how to end the letter. But always watch your child when they're writing and make sure that they write the letter the same way each time. Number 5 is important. We get a lot of questions about that. Once a child's determined what their dominant hand is, make sure they use that hand. Don't encourage them or force them to switch from their non-dominant hand. Number 6 is also really important when you're working with your student at home or your child at home on writing. You want to make sure that the child is sitting beside of you, not across the table from you. If they're sitting across the table from you and you're writing, then they're going to see everything backwards. And sometimes you might wonder, why is my child writing backwards? Well, it may simply just be because they've observed you writing from across the table. Number 7, just to make writing really interesting, use multiple writing tools, use different kinds of writing paper. If you want actual handwriting paper, you can always download it from the internet. And also on your iPhones and your iPads, if you'll do an app search, there are all kinds of really nice apps for teaching kids how to write letters appropriately. And number 10, practice, practice, practice. So we hope these writing sessions will be very helpful to you while you're working with your child at home.
Hello everybody, I'm Miss Johnson and I'm a teacher in Braxton County. I go all over the place to teach writing, and that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to read a wonderful book first, and then I have another really exciting activity that we can do later on. Let's take a look at our book. Since it's storm season, I'm going to read a book about storms. And we'll do an activity about storms. Okay, let's first take a look at my picture I have right here. It's a storm picture, isn't it? So let's do a See, Think, Wonder. You may have done these with your teacher before. So let's talk about what we see in the picture, what you actually see, and then what you think about the picture, and what it makes you wonder. What questions do you have? Okay, let's take a look. What do we see right here in this picture? Yeah, first thing you see is a big lightning bolt. So let's put lightning. What else do we see? Ah, yeah, clouds. That's a big one. That lightning's coming right out of that cloud, isn't it? And we see, yeah, it's in a great big field, isn't it? And lots of trees around. So it looks like it's in the country. Okay, let's talk about some of the things. What do we think about that picture? What does that make you think when you first look at it? I agree. agree. I think that lightning's coming right out of that cloud, isn't it? And I'll just write 2 words. I'll write lightning cloud. It's coming right out of it. Come out of lightning cloud. Okay, let's move on to wonder. When we look at that, what questions do you have? What pops in your mind? I know I have a couple. When I see that strike, it makes me wonder, is that going to happen again? Is there going to be another great big strike coming down? So I'll put another strike. And then I bet you're wondering the same thing that I'm wondering. Where does that lightning come from? And you know what else I wonder? And I bet you were thinking the same thing. I wonder if the clouds have anything to do with this. Do the clouds have a special job? I'll put that. Clouds' job. Okay, let's see what we have so far. When we looked at the picture, what we saw lightning and clouds, a field and trees. And then it made us think, it made us think about the lightning coming out of the cloud. And then it made us form these questions. Will there be another strike? Where did it come from? Do the clouds have a job in all of this? So maybe you can come up with some other questions too. Okay, before we read our great story, let's take a look at let's talk about it a little bit. The name of our story is Good Night, Little Blue Truck. And the author is Alice Schertle, and the illustrator is Jill McMurray. And if you look at the characters in our story, you can see all kinds of farm animals, and you see a truck, a blue truck. I see a goose, and I see a cow and a pig and a hen. I see all kinds of animals. And our characters, they're a little bit afraid of storms, and they get together and so that they won't be so afraid of the storm. But before we read our story, let's look at a few words that are in the story so that when we read the story, you'll know what they are. Our first word is brave. Do you know what it's like to be brave? Have you ever had to do something? Maybe it was a little scary, but you were brave and you did it anyway. Kind of like riding a bicycle. You did it anyway. So that's being brave. And dashing. In the story, you'll hear how one of your characters is dashing. He's running away. Grumbly. Oh, that's going to be a really good one, and it'll play a big part in our writing later. Grumbly. Have you ever heard someone grumble? Maybe they're a little mad, so they grumble. And the word racket. In the story, the thunder makes a racket. That means a loud noise. All right, now we get to read our wonderful story. And as we read our story, watch the clouds in the pictures and see what they do. Bumpity bump, down the road came Little Blue Truck with good friend Toad. Thunder crashing, lightning flashing, two good friends were homeward dashing. They wanted to get out of that storm. Such a wet and stormy night. Their warm garage was a welcome sight. In they went and shut the door, but it wasn't very long before... Oh, I wonder, can you predict what's going to happen? Wonder what's going to happen next. "Ma," said Goat, "please, Little Blue, can I come in here with Toad and you?" "Cluck," said Hen, "it's wet outside. I need a nice safe place to hide." "Honk," said Goose, "don't care for lightning. Stormy nights are a little bit frightening." "Moo," said the Cow, "can I come in too? I feel safer here with you." "Quack," said Duck, "there's quite a crowd. Can I squeeze in? Are ducks allowed?" "Oink," said Pig, "is there room for me? I'm cold and wet as I can be." "Beep, beep, beep," said Little Blue, "there's room for you and you and you. Everybody gather round. Thunder's such a grumbly sound." Clouds bump and tumble in the sky, but here inside we're warm and dry. And all the thirsty plants below will get a drink to help them grow. Close to Blue, over and yonder, over and under, they listen to the rain and thunder. Duck said, loud as he could quack it, "Thunder's just the noisy racket." "Boom," said Goat, "it isn't scary. I was not afraid, not very." "Just the noise," said Pig. "No wonder I'm not scared of a little thunder." After a while, the clouds blew on. The night was still, the storm was gone. Goat said, "We feel better, Blue. It's scary. It's easy to be brave with you." Pig said, "I feel sleepy now. Let's all head for home," said Cow. "Beep," said Blue, "just hop inside, all aboard for the bedtime ride." The rain had stopped, and way up high, the moon was a smile in a starry sky. They're all heading home. "Good night, Pig. Here's your pen. Good night, Duck. Good night, Hen. Good night, Goat. You're home now. Good night, Goose. Good night, Cow." Horn went beep, engine purred, friendliest sounds you ever heard. Blue and Toad drove home together, two good friends in any weather. Toad lay down on his own small bed. "Croak, good night, Little Blue," he said. Blue gave one small sleepy beep. Then Little Blue Truck fell fast asleep. That was a great story, wasn't it? And we learned that even though you're afraid of something, sometimes your friends can help you through it. I know I have great friends that help me through things. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. We're going to write a sentence using a special word, a special sentence from our book. You've heard of describing words, and sometimes we call them adjectives or adverbs. So let's go back in our book and let's look for some evidence in our book that talks about how the thunder is described. Here it is. Do you remember this one? Thunder's such a grumbly sound. And remember our word grumbly? That kind of means when somebody's mad, they get grumbly. So let's make a sentence that uses a word that's like grumbly. That's called a synonym too. It's a word that sounds like another that means the same thing as another word, but it's a different word. Okay, here's our sentence again. And if you have a pencil and paper, you can write too. Okay, let's start our sentence. Now, what do we always start a sentence with? That's right, capital letter. So let's write our first word of our sentence. Thunder's such a blank sound. I'm not putting the word grumbly in it. I'm going to take it out and you get to put a new word in. Okay, here's my capital T in thunder. Thunder's such a blank. We'll leave it blank and you put it in there. Okay, let me go back and read my sentence and let's make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Thunder's such a blank sound. Did I put everything in there that I needed? Oh, I didn't. I forgot my punctuation at the end. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes that's hard to remember, isn't it? Okay, so now you get to help me put in another word. How could we describe thunder? Thunder's such a blank sound. Oh, you like the word mad that we used earlier? Okay. All right. Mad. Let's go back and reread our sentence and make sure it sounds right and it makes sense. We wouldn't want a sentence that didn't make any sense, would we? Thunder's such a mad sound. That sounds good. It makes sense, doesn't it? Thunder's such a mad sound. Okay. Let me read this sentence again, and I'm going to teach you a little trick about how to know if you need punctuation. If you're writing several sentences and you're not sure, I want you to pay attention to my voice. My voice is going to do something special. It's going to either go up or down. And when it goes up or down, that means we use punctuation. That means our sentence is finished. If you hear my voice go down, that means we can use a period for our punctuation like we did here. If it goes up, maybe, and it's a little more excited, maybe we could use an exclamation point. Thunder's such a mad sound. What did my voice do at the end? It went up, didn't it? Yeah. So we could put an exclamation mark there if we wanted to. Or if you want to leave it as a period, here's how you would read it. And listen how my voice goes down. And it tells me that my sentence is finished and I'm ready for punctuation. Thunder's such a mad sound. Oh, did you hear my voice go down? Yeah, so we could put a period there. That's my voice signaling I'm finished with my sentence. But you know what? I think thunder and lightning's really exciting. So I'm reading it like this. Thunder's such a mad sound. My voice went up and got excited, didn't it? I'm going to put a punctuation mark. It's an exclamation mark. So you can do either one. I'm going to use that one because it's exciting. Okay. That's a really good job you did with your sentence. Okay, now we get to do a really fun activity. And do you remember when we were looking at the clouds on this picture? We talked about the clouds. in our See, Think, Wonder, and in our story, we talked about clouds. And let's go back, we can even look in our book, look at our evidence. Oh, look, there's that cloud, and look, the rain is coming out of that cloud. You think maybe that they both work together and the cloud helps it rain? Okay, I think so. Okay, let's do this fun activity. And if you want to do it with me, you may have some of the things you need at your house. So let's go over here to the sink and I'll show you what we need. You need a jar or tall glass, some food coloring, some shaving cream that mom or dad might use to shave with, and a spoon. Okay. And let's get another cup. Okay, here's the first thing I'm going to do. We're going to build a storm in a jar. Isn't that exciting? And we're going to watch it rain. So what I'm going to do first, I'll put some water in my jar, almost full, but not quite. And then I'll put a little bit of water in my cup, maybe fill it half full. And then I'm going to, I think I'll use red today. I just feel like red. I'm going to put 10 drops of food coloring in my little cup of water. You want to count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job when you're counting. Okay, I'll stir it up a little bit, and I can leave my spoon in there since I'm going to use it. Okay, right here, this water, it's our atmosphere. It's what we see down here on Earth. And then my shaving cream's going to be the cloud. So I'll put shaving cream in there. Then I'll kind of smooth it out a little bit. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. Let's make a prediction. Our red dye is going to be our rainwater. Here's our cloud, and we're going to spoon some red food coloring water into our cloud. And let's predict, how many spoonfuls do you think it might take before the cloud gets heavy with rainwater and then it bursts through our cloud? That's what happens up in the sky. The cloud gets very heavy with rainwater, and then finally it just can't hold the rainwater anymore, and it has to burst, and it'll burst through down here in our clear water. Okay, are you ready to count with me? Okay, and let's watch for our red rainwater to burst through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look, it's starting to rain. Our cloud couldn't hold any more water, so it's raining. So it took me 4 teaspoons. Let's go ahead and do another one. Oh, there it goes. It's raining. Okay, so you might want to try this fun activity at home, and you might even want to put even more shaving cream in and see if it takes longer to rain with a bigger cloud. Okay. All right. And it's going to rain this week too, and actually it's going to rain the next couple of weeks. And so when it starts to rain, watch the clouds and see how big and dark they get, and see how long it takes before the rain comes out of them, before the clouds get too full and they burst open. Okay, that's the end of our story and our activity. So I want you all to have a wonderful weekend and stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time. Bye.